Hello and welcome back to the channel. So this is a couple of days after the show at Bovington, so I thought we'd just do a little roundup as to how that went, and you can have a look at a couple of things that I bought. Did quite well this year, didn't come back with too much. I say that as fact of I didn't actually buy a lot is what I mean there, rather than I bought a ton. So first off, actually from the museum shop, funny enough, I picked up this book, which is what I wanted. This is it looks like 4 parts, although I can only see that there's 3 parts available in the UK. It's a German publication and it is in German and English, so the captions there are German, English. Okay, and I've actually got all 3. Now I shouldn't do them a disservice, but this one is sort of in and out of availability. I won't say in and out of print, but it is, availability is difficult at the minute for volume 1, and this is for Panzerabteilung 501, which is mainly the North Africa ones. And is, you know, initially I'm looking, the reason I got these books is for the initial Tigers and the earlies, and that's where it really matters. So that's this is the North African ones, and I've got volume 2 and 3 as well separately. I got them from Amazon because they were a little bit cheaper, so I thought, well, you know, it would have been nearly this was £26.99, so I bought all 3 at the Tank Museum. It would have been like £70 or £80. Hang on, 60. It would have been over £80, whereas it was actually quite a bit under that, more like 60. But what we've got here is, you see this with aircraft, you don't see it with tanks so much done in this way. This really is a sort of page by page format of the actual division, battalion, whatever you want to call it, the Panzerabteilung, and it is all relating to the Tigers of 501. And here we've got a lovely initial. Now you may not know, you don't see them on the channel, I don't always talk about it, but for me, my tank, if you like, is the Tiger, I suppose. It's very cliche, you know, it's nothing new there. It's something that I know a reasonable amount about, and there are plenty of people that know an awful lot more, and I'm very aware of that. And it's something I've liked since being a child, and I've always strived to build a few of these. And it's kind of like I've been saying to friends, it's more like a life's mission rather than something I'll do for this year. I just like to get them done before before the end, as it were. But what I like is the initials. I find this a lot as well with the aircraft, I've noticed. I tend to like sort of early variants and prototypes and that sort of thing, rather than main production variants. So for me, I would probably be looking at doing a couple of initials, certainly like a Tunisian initial and then Eastern Front initial, which, funny enough, I'm slightly working on in the background. I don't know if it will get all the way out, and it's something you'll see. It will be eventually because I'm filming it, but it, you know, it could be a year, or it could be 3 months. I don't know yet. But so I'm doing probably do a couple of them. I'm not sure, and then I'd like to do an early, maybe a couple of earlies that I like, and then I'd just do a mid and a late, and that'd be my little collection, if you know what I mean. I'm not really too excited about the lates for sure. The steel wheels, they don't really do much for me. But I think it's fair enough to differentiate the initials, for instance, to the desertised ones, because they've got different exhaust shrouds and a few different things going on. But the setup here with the way that the spare tracks are stowed, and the Bosch headlights there at the front as well, it's all just a little bit different. So it's worth, in my opinion, making a couple of them. And just for reference, you know, the Tiger at Bovington, that's not one of these. This is earlier. So these are like if you think of the Tiger at Bovington, that's more of a an early, if that makes sense. Most of what the features it's got continue on through the production run of the earlies, whereas these initials have got different front and back mud guards, they've got different side fenders, there's a bit of a kink halfway up, there's a different way that the tow cables are stowed, and the shackles, and there's different. Everything's just a little bit different. Although the main, you know, the turret and the hull and the wheels are pretty much as per the rest of it. So this is an interesting book, and it's something I like. And as you can see, you know, it's just constant. It's just I'd be surprised if there's a Tiger in here that you'd want to find from this from these guys that isn't in here in one way or another. So that's useful, and it's a remarkable book. Again, for $26.99, I mean, look at these pictures, you know, the way it's presented, it's just absolutely perfect. You know, it's stunning, and this is something I like. I'd never seen this before. Having the petrol cans stowed, and they are petrol jerry cans. It did happen, but I wouldn't have thought it would have happened on Tigers, funny enough. So there you go. You know, there's a model if there's ever been one to look at that. You know, what a heavily laden Tiger that is. It's you know, different way to present it. So we won't go all the way through because I don't really want to show off too much. There's a whole chunk there that we're not going to see, but if we just skip on through, we then get the deployment when 503 goes on out into the Eastern Front. Not actually sure where are we? This is Spring 44. This is the River Dvina. It looks very Russia-like to me, to be honest, or certainly Eastern Europe. And now we're into some mids here with Zimmerit. And again, you can see why you would like this. It just sort of oozes the era of modelling that I like. You know, Tony Greenland book. I can still go through that. You know, I do it every sort of few months. Just keep flicking through it. You know, and I got all my old TMIs, Tamiya Model magazines. That is very much of that time as well. It's just sort of linking back for me to a kind of, I don't know how to say, I don't want to do it a disservice, a gentler time for modelling, shall we say. It wasn't all sort of extreme weathering, it was more about a nice clean, well executed finish, you know. So anyway, that's this book. In the back, if we have a look, I should have showed you this. God, blimey, it's quite old. They're all like this. Obviously, it got a little bit as well when they get supplied with Tiger 2s, which is nice. King Tiger, as people like to say. Porsche and Henschel. Not quite, but you know, we've come to love that analogy there. And there we are. So this is the Tiger I got on the bench. But this picture here, this book kick-started it. I thought, right, grab that book. This is bound to have some amazing pictures of Tank 100. It's just that one, funny enough. So there we are. So no clues were gleaned from that one, but I've got quite a lot taken off the internet. Energy and Tail. I don't get sort of Rivet County. Not I like the term, but it's a general cover-all with many things. But with Tigers, I do like to get them right because I don't intend to really do them twice. So if I'm going to do it, I want it to be bang on. So that was the first purchase, and again, like I said, that was from the museum shop. And it's obvious what I've bought, isn't it? A Ryefield model, African initial Tiger 1. Bound to have, why wouldn't I? Oh, yes, so the Hawker Sea Hurricane Mark 1B. You may ask why. Good question. I wanted this when it came out. I never got it for whatever reason. So, and now it's pretty much out of production, and I've got it now. So it's £18 from good old Models for Sale. They had a good show, I can tell you that. It was pretty much the only player in town that was sensible. In the way that I mean, they had modern kits and second-hand kits and a nice run of selection. So I mean, it's just everyone had a Models for Sale bag walking around the show. And we'll get onto the show in a minute. Typical thing. I mean, I've built the Hurricane. It's this kit, from what I, as far as I know. This is all the parts in here to build every type of Hurricane they've released. You've got Sea Hurricane, Trop Hurricane, and the normal Hurricane, he says. Trying to use a better word than normal. I did wonder, this is obviously, it might be second hand, but it's certainly a little bit older, if I had a bit of yellowing there on the decal in between. That just looks like there's a bit of, help if it was in focus. Just to me, I don't know if this will show up on camera, it might be a bit too overexposed, but just looked to me like the actual carrier film in between was a bit yellowed. Anyway, I'm doing this one, so it doesn't matter. So I will give this one a build. Let's just have a look at the schemes. I always like to see if they're Yeovilton based, but no, obviously not, because they're carrier based. It's this one. Top Boy 7E. That's what I was going to go for. So this is that. What have we got? Aircraft flown by Lieutenant Richard John Dickey Cork, DSO and DSC. 880 Naval Air Squadron, Fleet Air Arm, HMS Indomitable, Operation Ironclad, Diego Suarez, Madagascar. So May 1942. I mean, yeah, typical stuff. The dark slate grey, funny old colour to get right. I'm not sure it's quite as green as that, but again, it's probably not. Well, I don't know. I think the box top's probably got that bang on actually. Myself. But anyway, I've done a few Fleet Air Arm aircraft in the past, so I've got the colours nailed on somewhere. It's probably on one of my videos. I'll go back and actually look at my videos. What do we get? Well, we get a cockpit, as you would expect, which has got pretty much everything you need. Needs a set of Sutton harnesses. I think I put a zoom set in the last one that I had, and it wasn't really worth it. Or did I? Maybe I didn't. I don't think it needs it myself. You can't see a lot through the canopy if you close it up, which I tend to do. Has this got an open canopy, actually, saying that? I know the 72nd one doesn't. Yes, it does, so you can open it. I think that's looking the part myself. I quite like that. So yeah, as you can see, and that was it. So I'm reasonably happy with that. I didn't want to spend too much. I got a bit of a basket full on Hannons, because there's some releases. Those of you who don't know or not in the know, Hobby 2000 have reboxed the Cyber Hobby, that's Dragon, BF 109 in 1/32 scale, which is a remarkable kit, probably the best in scale. And it's I don't know, 36 quid, or might be, it's under 40 anyway, I think, retail. So I've got a few of them on order. I'll replace my Edwards, you know, I'll sell off the Edward ones now because it's far better. It's just been out of production. So there we are, that was the show. It doesn't tell you much about the show, does it? So we'll talk about that with this as a bit of a background. So the show was very good. Lots of people through the door. Weather was a bit of a problem. One of the main traders, I don't think, made it. And the show was sort of a tale of two things. You know, I had a very enjoyable time, and I think everyone who turned up had an enjoyable time. Our club, I was next to my actual club, I would say, with the special interest group that I run as well. We had a good time, and there was quite a few of us turned up, which was good, and it made the best of it. And I think if you were going to the show as a modeller, there wasn't a huge amount of exhibits, there wasn't a huge amount of traders, but I think there was enough. But if you were going there as a member of the public, I think you would have had a very good time, because it was quite interactive. There's a lot going on. You're in the Tank Museum for a start, so you're already 50% of the way there because there's so much to look at. You've got all of that to go, and I think the way they put it on, it was very well done for the visiting public. It's very good, and I met a lot of you guys there as well, so if any of you are watching, thanks for popping over and saying hello. It was really nice to hear your feedback and actually hear that, you know, you're liking certain things and some of the stuff I'm doing. A lot of feedback I did get was that the beginner series was very helpful, and I'm looking to probably pop back and update some of that, to be honest. So keep an eye on that. I might do some quick builds and just try and get through to it again with simple finishes, but maybe try and up the level with more simple techniques. Try and you know, hone down the weathering to maybe 2 or 3 little techniques, but try and get an effective finish as well. So that might be something that will be of interest to a lot of you. I don't know what the next one is, but I'll keep you posted. So I'm going to change it up a little bit on the channel, because you still get everything you're getting now, but I'll try and do a few more sort of videos, not quite like this, a bit choppier, a bit more discussion type videos, I suppose, as well as the build videos that will drop in between, just so I start to get a little bit busier as we get to the sunshine period, which is hopefully not far away after all the storms we've had. So hope you're all well, hope everything's going on. Thanks for staying tuned to the channel. You see what I got going on here. I'll probably give a little bench update as well about a few things that I've got in the background on the go, and we will catch up on the next one. So as always, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.